Let's carry on with this story. Now let's recap and see what we covered in our last episode 6 of this thrilling story of a stranger in familiar skin. John's journey took him from the wilderness to the mountaintop, where he was confronted with the harsh reality of environmental degradation. This realization sparked a newfound purpose within him, driving him to explore sustainable living solutions. As he descended the mountain, John's personal quest for identity began to intertwine with a broader mission of environmental stewardship. His resolve led him to the local archives, where the search for his family history took an unexpected turn. A photograph found amidst the ancient records challenged everything John thought he knew about his lineage. The man he had believed to be his grandfather was someone else entirely. With this revelation, John's journey into his past deepened, promising to unveil hidden truths about his family and himself. Stay tuned as John steps into the archives, ready to unravel the secrets of his ancestry and the mysteries that have shaped his identity. Season 1, Episode 7. John's mind reeled at the revelation. A flood of questions surged through him. Who was this man in the photograph? And what secrets had been hidden from him all these years? What did this discovery mean for his understanding of his family and himself? The librarian, sensing his confusion, suggested they look through some more records that might shed light on the mystery. Together, they sifted through additional documents, each one potentially holding the key to unraveling the truth about John's lineage. As they worked, the librarian shared anecdotes about the history of the town and its inhabitants, painting a rich tapestry of community life that had spanned generations. John felt as though he was not just uncovering his family's past, but also reconnecting with the history of the land that had shaped them. Finally, they came across a series of letters and journal entries that mentioned the man. With a photograph in hand and a mind brimming with new questions, John left the archives. The discovery that the man in the picture was not the grandfather he had known opened a floodgate of mysteries. Fueled by this revelation and the need to unravel his family's enigmatic past, John decided to visit his family home. It was time to confront the legacy head-on and piece together the hidden truths of his lineage. John's journey home was a reflective passage through the corridors of time, each turn in the road bringing him closer to the heart of his family's history. The old senior mine officer's house, once vibrant during the peak of Chibaluma Mine's operation, stood as a silent testament to a bygone era, now waiting for John with its untold stories. As the landscape shifted from the bustling town to the quiet streets of his childhood neighborhood, John's thoughts were a whirlwind of the revelations he'd just uncovered. The family home, draped in the aura of history, seemed to beckon him, promising insights into the mysteries of his lineage. Stepping through the door, the familiar creak of its hinges welcomed him into a space where the past and present intertwined. Each room, adorned with relics of days past, whispered secrets of joy, sorrow, and the ordinary moments in between. It was here, amidst the echoes of his ancestors' lives, that John hoped to piece together the enigmatic puzzle of his family's past. His distant relatives, aunts, uncles, and cousins he had only heard of in stories or seen in old photographs, now stood before him in the flesh. They were an eclectic mix of faces, some bearing striking resemblances to the figures in the photographs he had discovered at the archives. Aunt Chaluba, a matriarchal figure whose presence commanded the room, stepped forward with a gentle smile.
Kalibu, John, you are welcome,
she said, her voice soft but filled with a quiet strength.
Twetchila kulolela, we've been waiting for you to come and uncover the mysteries of our family.
The atmosphere was a blend of curiosity and solemnity as John was ushered into the expansive sitting room. The room, steeped in family history, was adorned with portraits of stern-faced ancestors, heirlooms, and artifacts from various eras. The comforting aroma of freshly brewed tea filled the air, creating a welcoming ambience in the room. As they settled into plush armchairs and sofas, the family began to share stories, each relative bringing a unique piece of the family puzzle to the table. Their tales wove a rich tapestry of childhood adventures, moments of resilience and survival through hard times, including significant historical events that had shaped their lives and the nation. One of the uncles, his voice imbued with a mix of pride and somber reflection, recounted the family's involvement in Zambia's struggle for independence. He spoke of the freedom fighters within their ranks, their covert meetings, and the sacrifices they made during the liberation movement. Those were trying times, he said, but our family stood firm in the face of adversity, committed to the cause of our nation's freedom. Another aunt chimed in, sharing how the family navigated the challenges of the recent COVID-19 pandemic. She recounted the early days of uncertainty and fear, the community coming together to support each other, and how the family adapted to the new normal. It was a test of our resilience, she reflected, but it also brought us closer, reminding us of the importance of unity and compassion in times of crisis. As John listened, he felt a deep connection to these stories. The tales of resilience during Zambia's fight for independence and the more recent struggles during the pandemic painted a picture of a family that had weathered many storms, emerging stronger with each challenge. The narratives provided him with a new perspective on his own challenges and the strength that ran in his family's veins. The evening continued with more anecdotes and shared memories, each contributing to John's understanding of his family's enduring spirit and the rich history that had shaped them. The room, filled with the echoes of laughter and the occasional reflective silence, felt like a sanctuary of shared heritage and collective memory. In that gathering, John realized that his journey was more than a quest for personal identity. It was about connecting with a legacy of strength, resilience, and unity that had been passed down through generations. As he absorbed the stories of his ancestors and relatives, he felt a growing sense of pride and belonging, a feeling that he was part of a lineage that had not only survived but thrived through the ebbs and flows of history. Aunt Chiluba, in particular, seemed to be a wellspring of knowledge about the family's history. She recounted tales of John's great-grandparents, their ventures and struggles, and how they had established the family's prominence in the region. Her stories were interspersed with insights into the family's values, beliefs, and traditions that had been passed down through generations. As the evening wore on, the conversation shifted to the man in the photograph, the mysterious figure who bore a striking resemblance to John's grandfather. Aunt Chiluba's expression grew solemn as she delved into this part of the family's history. "That man was your great-uncle," she began, her voice tinged with a mix of reverence and sadness.
He was a remarkable man, but his life was shrouded in mystery and, unfortunately, tragedy.
John's heart raced as he listened to the tale of his great-uncle, a man whose existence had been a hidden chapter in his family's history. Aunt Chiluba spoke of his achievements, his explorations, and his contributions to the family's legacy. But she also touched upon the darker aspects of his life, the conflicts, the controversies, and the untimely demise that had left a permanent mark on the family. The more John heard, the more he realized how complex and intertwined his family's history was. The revelations shed new light on the dynamics within his own immediate family, explaining some of the tensions and unspoken issues he had sensed growing up. At one point, an old leather-bound journal was brought out, a relic from his great-uncle's adventures. Its pages were filled with handwritten notes, sketches, and faded photographs. John felt as if he was touching a part of history, a tangible link to a past that was both foreign and intimately connected to him. As he flipped through the journal, he came across entries that spoke of a mysterious artifact, one that seemed to resonate with a description of the object he had discovered in the cave. The coincidence was too striking to ignore, and a thrill of excitement coursed through him. Could this journal hold the key to understanding the significance of the artifact? The evening passed in a blur of stories, laughter, and the occasional tear as memories were revisited and shared. John felt a profound sense of gratitude for this opportunity to connect with his family's past, to understand the roots from which he had sprung. When the night drew to a close and the family bid each other good night, John retired to a guest room filled with family belongings. The room, with its antique furniture and portraits of long-gone relatives, felt like a bridge across time. Lying in bed, he pondered over the day's revelations, the stories he had heard, and the journal that lay beside him. The night was quiet, save for the occasional creaking of the old house. John's mind was alive with thoughts, piecing together the fragments of his family's past and pondering the connection to the artifact. There was a sense of being part of something much larger than himself. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. If you did, please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell. Also, please share this story with your family and friends. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to discuss with me about the story, or indeed the series we've been featuring on this channel titled How to Build in Zambia While Living in the Diaspora, do get in touch. I'll make sure to respond to you. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video or podcast next week.